Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Sunday. It's about 12 o'clock, and I'm up here inside the moat. I'm going to walk around a little bit, see what's going on. Show you a little bit of Chiang Mai. I want to thank everybody that came into the live stream last night. We had quite a few people. Had a good time, and we'll have it again next Saturday too at 8 o'clock. But I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see where we're at. And we'll start walking down. I think we'll walk to the left. This is a really old building in here. It's pretty cool. We'll go down here and go to the left a little bit. The weather's really nice. It's not real hot today. The sun's not real bright. It's kind of cloudy out, as you can see. It makes a nice day for out walking around. I'm going to tell you a story about what happened the other night. It was really kind of strange. I was on Facebook, and I was in one of the channels, and some girl had posted made a post about a guy that was in the hospital up here, and he was in pretty bad shape. He had been all cut up and disorientated. She said that she had found him on the side, sitting on the side of the road, and they took him to one of the government hospitals, and he wasn't getting treated fast enough, so they said. So they took him to another hospital up on the north end, one of the private hospitals. It's a little bit more expensive, and what he says, is that he claimed that he was robbed by.
Is that in the store, right?
Hey, how you doing? He was claimed he was robbed by, or not robbed. He was beat up and stabbed and threatened at gunpoint by some taxi drivers when he was leaving the bar. And he was cut up pretty good. He had some pretty good lacerations on his hands, and drunker than a skunk. But she said he was up at the hospital, and he was a lone traveler and didn't have anybody to help him or look after him. And would somebody please go up and kind of check on him? I think a few people did. But the next day, the Thai police were contacted, and they take stuff like that serious. That's not something that I wonder where that alley goes. Huh. It's not something that they take lightly. So they went up to the hospital and they interviewed him and took pictures, and he's sticking to his story. He was robbed by taxi, or a bunch of taxi drivers got after him and cut him up and all that. Well, what the yo-yo didn't understand is that there's closed circuit TV everywhere up here. And the first thing that the cops do, and see, there's one right there. They're everywhere. Cameras are everywhere up here. It's hard to walk around without being on camera. They go back through the closed circuit TV and start tracking his movements. Well, the first thing they find is they see him nonchalantly walking through an area of housings, and I wonder where this goes. We'll get nosy. It may just I think it just dead ends back here. And he wasn't in any big hurry or anything. And then They find where he's jumped over a fence, and there's blood all over the fence. And he said they had stolen his phone or he had lost his phone. They find the phone next to the fence, but they interview another guy. Then he said about 1 o'clock in the morning or late at night, they heard a loud noise in the back, and they looked over and there was a foreigner jumping over the fence. And you know, these fences, most of these walls have that jagged glass on it, and there is no way to get across one of those walls without getting cut. And there was some concern because he had some cuts on his, you know, on his torso. But in order to get that fence, he had to throw his torso over the wall. And anyway, it turns out it's just a big fabricated story, and everybody pretty much damning him on Facebook, which is, you know, rightfully so, because that makes us all look bad. It makes every foreigner that's up here look like a fool. And I hate to say it, that the police don't take that, you know, they take that stuff serious. And, you know, I don't know what they'll do to him. Again, in the Thai news, they basically report the good stuff, and then they forget about it after that. So, you know, I don't know if we'll ever hear of whatever happens to him. My consensus is that once he gets out of the hospital and gets on his feet, they're going to deport him, which is exactly what he needs. But you know, the worst thing you can do up here is make a false report to the police, because, you know, I don't know if these guys think that the law enforcement up here is stupid or naive, because you have to understand they've seen these tricks 100 times, and you know, they take it seriously. So this he's going to be in a jam. I don't think he'll ever be able to come back to Thailand again. And let's hope, if he can't pay his bill, he may not be leaving. You know, who knows? But you know, why he concocted that story, I have no earthly idea. But, you know, when we were reading it, myself included and a couple other people, you know, just by reading the story, you know, it just didn't sound right, because stuff like that doesn't happen up here. You know, this is one of the safest places that I've ever lived. You know, I feel comfortable walking around the streets day or night, and you know, I don't worry about getting robbed or beat up. Now I do worry about getting run over by a car sometime, but that's just part of life. You know, we know that fear is real and it exists here. So, you know, that's the only thing that you have to watch out for when you come to Thailand or you know, Chiang Mai, is walking the streets. You understand that the traffic comes from the other direction, and you're not used to that, so you're very likely to look to the left and step out and get run over by a car that's coming from the right-hand side, because you don't know it's there, because the guy getting his food. But you know, I don't know. I'll try to do a follow-up if they prosecute this guy or send him back home. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do. I'm sure his travel insurance won't pay for it, you know. So he may be stuck to pay a pretty hefty hospital bill. I understand they had to do surgery on his finger. It was cut so bad. Why he was jumping over the walls and stuff, nobody seems to know. It just, you know, it's just kind of crazy. But stuff like that happens up here. These people come here and they get drunk and they forget what they're doing and they lose their minds and do some crazy stuff. Wow, this is a neat little place. I ran across another story that I'll tell you as well. And this happened quite a few years ago. There was a Malaysian guy that came up from Malaysia, and I'm gonna cross the street here. he was partying pretty hard. And a young guy, he was probably 25, 26 years old. And he runs out of money. So he devises a plan that he's going to try to get money back, money sent here from his parents. So he goes to the police in Chiang Mai and tells them that he's been robbed on Loi Kro late at night. Unbeknownst to him that, that whole place is covered with closed circuit TV. Sure enough, they go back and look at the TV and there's nothing there. And they go back and interview him. He finally confesses that, yeah, he made the whole story up, and he had run out of money and he wanted his parents to send him money, and they wouldn't send him any money unless he, if they knew he had blown all his money on women and drugs or beer or whatever it was. And it didn't say what they did to him, but I'm sure it wasn't a pleasant situation. They don't take kindly to that here. They are trying to boost tourism, and when something like that happens, it starts to give them a black eye, and they don't like it. And there are laws here that are a lot different. Now, here comes another blogger. Hello. There are laws here that they can prosecute you on, and they will. Another thing that used to be a big problem here, I think we'll go to the right here. The other thing that used to be a big problem here is when people left home, they'd take out travel insurance. And I read 3 or 4 cases like this quite some time back. And then after they get here, before they get ready to go home, they'll go to the police station and report that something's been stolen out of their room. And again, the Thai police look into it. Yeah, they're getting ready for the night market tonight, setting stuff up, and find out that that's not the case. That they're just doing it for an insurance report. Because to turn it into their insurance company, they have to have a police report, and then they end up probably paying a pretty hefty fine to get out of the country. So, if you're even considering doing that, forget it. It doesn't work anymore. I think it worked for a few years, and then they finally got wise to it and stopped it. But people do dumb things. And the bad thing about it is it makes us all look bad. Those of us that live here, we see that, and we kind of cringe because it's a reflection on all the foreigners that come here and come here on vacation, and those of us that choose to live here. So, it's just not a good thing to do. Yeah, we're coming up on Three Kings Monument. That'll be on the left. And I'm gonna go walk by Shoe Home Cooking again. I want to show you all that place for those of you who haven't seen it. I don't know if she's open today or not, but it's a really good place to eat. Great atmosphere. They make an excellent double ham and cheese sandwich. Really, really good. And the desserts are to die for. And to get there, we have to go right down this way on the right. Pretty busy up here today. Wow, there's a lot of people at Three Kings Monument. What they're doing. I haven't seen this many people up here. Huh. Interesting. We're going to walk up this way. The bicycles. I don't know what they're having up here. That's pretty neat. But yeah, it's, you know, the old saying goes, honesty is the best policy. And yet, I used to tell people that the truth will always set you free. You know, when you lie about something or make something up, number one, you can't be very good at it because it didn't happen. You know, it's just, it's hard for people to tell a convincing story when it's a bunch of BS. And whereas if you tell the truth, you know, you're setting yourself free. Hello. Oh, car behind me. Everybody's got their trash out here, their recyclables. It's a neat little area. There's a lot of little houses back in here. Wow. Goes all the way back. Hello.
Hello,
Swadee Kap. Yeah, there's a bunch of houses back in here. I've walked back there before. But anyway, we'll go back out this way. And I'll show you the cafe. Wow, look at the coconuts. Beautiful temple. And she is down here on the right. That old house right there. Really, really good food there. So if you get hungry and get out walking around, come check her out. And we're going to go down here. Last time I did a video here, I walked through the temple, but I'll go around the outside now. Let this red truck get by me. Here's a nice old house too. Beautiful, beautiful teakwood house. I don't know where that little road goes. No, it's just a dead end right there. But that's the situation, you know. If you come over here and use your head, you're not going to have any problems. I promise you. You know, I mean, there's always that chance, but you know, the likelihood of something happening to you if you use your head and just use good common sense are pretty slim. It's when you start getting in those gray areas where you're going to run into trouble. That's where you leave yourself open to bad things to happen. Wow, that's a pretty gate. I like the way they've done that. And just great colors right there. That is really nice. Well, I'm going to head back to the car now, and hope y'all enjoyed this video, and leave me some comments. Tell me what you think. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.